From the Love NOLA TV studio in the beautiful Garden District of New Orleans, this is the Mark Romig Show. Today's guests, local food and restaurant journalist Ian McNulty, award-winning sports director at WDSU, Fletcher Mackel, plus chef, restaurateur, and TV personality, Emeril Lagasse. And now, your host, Mark Romig.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Mark Romig Show in our new studios here at New Orleans and Company. It's the first of many episodes that you'll be seeing this coming year. Now, I want to thank you for watching, and you can be watching us, full episodes that is, on YouTube or listening on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or Amazon Music. There's also shorts on youtube.com/LoveNOLATV, and we'll have reels on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We've got a great lineup of guests this week. We're talking about the local chefs and restaurants that were just nominated for the 2026 James Beard Award. And we'll have Ian McNulty with us to take us through all of that. You know, championship weekend with the National Football League just happened, and we're going to have a first look at the Super Bowl with the one and only Fletcher Mackel from WDSU. He's a great guy. He's an award-winning sports director over there, and we're glad to have him with us. You know, there's several players and coaches with those teams that are going into the Super Bowl from New Orleans and from Louisiana that we want to key on. And later in the show, I'm so excited to bring you our first featured guest, Chef Emeril Lagasse. We're going to talk about his life, his cooking, and those Michelin stars that are now appearing over at Emeril's restaurant. All right, so as part of this show, we've got a production crew because we can't do it without a production crew, and we have the best in the business. So let's go ahead and talk to these guys right now and see what's happening. So I'm going to kick it off first to Cal. Cal, thank you for being with us, and how you doing? How was your weekend?
Doing good, Mark. I'm excited to kind of get this Mark Romig Show off the ground and get it running with episode 1.
I'm excited for that very reason
Absolutely.
as well. Pooch, Chef Pooch.
Yes, sir.
I know what you did this weekend, but how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I boiled some crawfish, ate a lot of king cake.
I knew it.
You know what I'm doing on the weekends. Enjoying New Orleans and all of its heritage and culture, baby.
Yeah. Tell us about what you're doing otherwise.
Working on podcasts such as yours here at Love NOLA TV. Very privileged to do so. And really just cooking and getting ready for Mardi Gras, man.
Yeah, you know, you talk about Love NOLA TV. It's a place to get all the information you need about the city, along with NewOrleans.com. It's really terrific titles there.
Wonderful place to be.
Yeah. I haven't forgotten about you, Glenn. How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Had a good weekend?
Yeah. You know, it got kind of cold this week.
A little chilly this morning, but it's going to warm up. We'll be good. So I did want to take this opportunity to, on behalf of our production crew, owners of Love NOLA TV, Mark, we are very honored to have you working with us, and we're just looking forward to it. This is going to be a lot of fun, and we want you to have a lot of fun with us, and we want our audience to have a lot of fun. So just wanted to put a little note out there that we're working hard behind the scenes, and we're looking forward to this.
Well, thank you, and thank Keith as well. And we've got shows coming up throughout the year. We're going to have some exciting guests, as we have today with Emeril and Fletcher and Ian. April, of course, is going to be with us in broadcasts to come, and it's just going to be a great time. And a great time to be positive about the city of New Orleans and the region.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I also wanted to give a shout out to my brother Keith for his 49th birthday, something like that.
Yeah, we have a birthday in the house.
We got a birthday boy, a little king cake on the table. So
it's great. Well, thank you.
Happy birthday, Keith.
Thank you.
And thank you for the trust that you've placed in me to bring this good news to the community and to the region. So, gentlemen, let's get on with it.
Let's go.
On the table.
All right. Our first guest covers restaurants and food for NOLA.com, Ian McNulty. Ian, thanks for being with us on the show.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you helping us kick this off in such a great way.
Great to be with you.
A lot of news recently about James Beard nominations. It says a lot about the city of New Orleans. What do you see there?
James Beard Awards are, often compared to the Oscars of the restaurant world. They're closely watched by people in the industry and, frankly, by people who who travel, who want to go see, to go to a certain city and want to check out what's hot. What I liked about the slate of semifinalists from New Orleans is the range. It goes from some real classic New Orleans names that really shows kind of the depth of the restaurant scene here, and then also these new additions that shows the energy. So, I mean, between the foundation of, like I say, that depth and tradition that New Orleans has, and the new concepts, the new talent coming through, I mean, that's the New Orleans restaurant scene right now. That's why it's so exciting to cover it, and for visitors and for people who live here to live it, to actually just go out and experience this lifestyle that we have through our restaurants. I'll give you a couple examples of that. Up for the award for Outstanding Restaurateur. In this case, it's the restaurateurs. It's Donald Link and Steven Strajewski, two chefs who, started out small, one restaurant, then they added another one, Koshan, which marks 20 years in 2026.
I can't believe 20 years.
And then have built, some people call these guys empire builders, restaurant empires. It's not really that. It's a group. It's a restaurant group, all under this Link Restaurant Group brand. And all of them across the board are just fantastic. And so that's why these two guys, who, the founding partners of it, are getting this recognition. I mean, you can go up and down the board from Koshan, which is Cajun, to Pesh, which is Louisiana seafood done in this modern way, to the classic Herb Saint, the Italian Gianna, goes on and on. They're just these fantastic restaurants, good quality, and it's a very deserving recognition, but also just shows you like the ecosystem that they've built in New Orleans and all these restaurants that are available to us. And on the other hand, you've got a couple nominees for Best New Restaurant in the country, by the way, not just in the region or in the state. And the two of those on the list from New Orleans, Aviva, new restaurant opened this year in the Faubourg Marigny, a fantastic Italian restaurant, great setting, great scene. You feel like you're just in this neighborhood restaurant that's just doing all the things you want, good, fresh, seasonal, fun, a great happy hour, by the way. And then the other one is St. Clair, across the river, over the river, through the woods, down Lower Coast Algiers, a little off the beaten path for sure, but a restaurant that feels like you're going to this French country retreat, basically. I mean, it feels like a vacation within the city. So Melissa Martin's who's killing it down there.
Yeah, well, speak to the creativity that you see coming out of the kitchens here in New Orleans. I mean, that's a story that's being told over and over again now.
That's what I love about covering the New Orleans restaurant scene, because we do have tradition. And by the way, another big name, Brennan's Restaurant, is a nominee for Outstanding Beverage Professional for their sommelier, Braith Gill, who put that wine cellar back on the map. I mean, it doesn't get much more classic than Brennan's, but Brennan's is also a very modern rendition of itself. It's a famous historic restaurant that's kept modern, and that's like another really exciting vein of the New Orleans restaurant story. So you have the foundation here, because we have a food culture, we have a restaurant culture, we have a culture of hospitality. We don't just have a lot of restaurants because we have a lot of tourists. We have this food culture that we share as New Orleans people, and we get to share with people who visit, and that's the base, that's the foundation. And from there, you have all the creativity that swirls around it. People, creative minds, culinary talent, they're drawn to the city because we have a dining culture, because we have a hospitality culture. It's a place they want to come and start their career and learn from others, and then eventually they start their own restaurants. And that's where you see all these new, interesting, modern restaurants that spin out from there.
And then you see an award, at least a nomination for E.J. Lagasse.
E.J. Lagasse, right.
Emerging chef.
Emerging chef, again, a nomination on a national scale. I mean, he's somebody who comes through, of course, his father, Emeril Lagasse, but it wasn't my conversations with EJ. He always tells me he was never sort of pressured into following his father's footsteps. It was never expected. His sister, for instance, is pursuing a law degree, but he took it. He saw the life, he lived it, and he's bringing his own restaurant family into the next generation. That's another thing I love about the New Orleans restaurant scene, Mark. Whether we're talking the biggest names, Emeril Lagasse, Commander's Palace, the Brennans, or these little mom and pops, a po' boy shop down the street, Dom Elise's, or Parkway up by Bayou St. John, they're all family restaurants. No matter how big they are, the biggest restaurants in New Orleans are still family restaurants. There's a direct line to the families that run them. And you feel that. It contributes to their character, and you feel that you're dining in these institutions or neighborhood joints that are really an expression of somebody's family and their traditions or their spirit of innovation.
That's right. It's like you're going to their home. You're
exactly
dining
right.
in their home.
Yeah.
To be nominated, what does that mean for someone's career?
It's a big deal. Now, these are nominations, aren't awards. The awards will come later in the spring. But it puts people on the map, and it's an endorsement by somebody coming in from outside. Look, I talk about restaurants all the time. I cover the new ones. I go back to the old ones. I come up with my own lists of best restaurants and the ones you must see for this reason or that reason. You can follow them all on NOLA.com. Follow my Instagram, Ian McNulty NOLA. I give a lot of recommendations out there. But when a group like James Beard comes in, they're coming in with a national perspective. They're taking it, okay, what's going on in all these cities, and let's see what's going on in New Orleans, and this is what we like. So it's getting an award is a huge deal, but just getting a nomination gives them attention, quite like this. We're talking about them, and it gets people to give a different look. And sometimes, and what I love about it too, is sometimes it's not just the new places that we listed, but it's places that have been around for quite some time. The Link Restaurant Group, Cochon, Herb Saint, Brennan's, that are getting new attention for what they're doing, because even the places that have been around forever have to continue to innovate.
Yeah, and beyond the restaurants and the chefs that are involved, imagine what it's doing to the city of New Orleans, to the brand for this region.
Well, New Orleans is a restaurant town, right? I talked about the dining culture, the hospitality culture. That's what we do here. It really is part of the lifestyle of New Orleans, dining out, going out. You and I talk about it all the time. What do I see? I see you out at restaurants. And when I see you somewhere that's not a restaurant, what do? We're talking about
the restaurant.
Of course. And so for visitors, that's the thing, right? You come to town. I hope you're not coming for the skiing, because we don't have great snow-covered mountains. But you're coming here to eat, to drink, to hear music, to absorb the architecture, just to live the New Orleans life for a little bit. And our restaurants make it so easy to do that. Our restaurants and our bars, by the way, the cocktail culture here is so strong. I tell people all the time, if you're in a room surrounded by New Orleans people having great food and great drink in a historic setting or a cool, modern, stylish design dining room, you're doing a very authentic New Orleans thing. That's as real as it gets, because that's what we do. Right. We love to eat and drink, and we love to host, and we love putting on a good time, right? Mardi Gras is about to break out. That's as big as it gets. But really, behind the scenes, it's our restaurants and our bars that set the stage for all this, for people to come and enjoy it, and for us as New Orleanians to just kind of have all this at our fingertips.
Yeah, it evokes that hospitality that we're all very famous for down here. And people travel from around the world to cities that have a James Beard restaurant or a Michelin star restaurant or some designation. And I think for our economy, it's a hallmark.
Oh, yeah. Well, New Orleans is known as the place for restaurants, right? I mean, wherever you are, if you say you're going to New Orleans, people are going to ask you, oh, where are you going to eat? Oh, what restaurants are you going to visit?
And then when you're eating breakfast, they say, where are we going to eat for lunch?
Right,
and then what's dinner?
Yeah. So these international and national recognitions are a big deal because it's a brand that goes around the world. When you talk about Michelin, and these designations that New Orleans has picked up left and right. I mean, Food and Wine saying one of the top food cities of the world. These it means people get it, frankly. Yeah. I mean, we know it because we live it, and it's good to get the designation.
Very good.
People.
Well, Ian, thanks for being with us. Ian McNulty, NOLA.com.
I love NOLA.com.
Look forward to reading you, and I'm picking up some more new restaurants that you're spreading the word about.
It's all part of the ministry, and it never ends, my friend. Until the next one.
I wish I had your job. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks. Move the chains. Hey, guys. Did y'all see the game this weekend?
Yeah, not too happy about the first game. I'm excited for the Seahawks. I don't know why. I have an affinity for them. Obviously, would rather the Broncos than the Patriots.
Yeah.
But, I think it's going to be
a weather. That was certainly a weather game.
Yeah.
The other game was the weather was beautiful.
Yeah, it was crazy. It would have been nice to have Sean in the Super Bowl again. He's had some tough luck in championship games, man.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to regret that fourth down.
Well,
not kicking a field
we're all
goal early.
Will Lutz fans, and
Will Lutz as well. He had a tough day.
But we're going to be getting into it in just a moment.
Let's do it.
We'd like to welcome Fletcher Mackel, award-winning sports journalist at WDSU. It's good to see you. I'm having you on before your brother, so you can tell your brother that maybe we'll get Travis on at some point.
I appreciate it. I thought we were going to be coming on as twins. I figured maybe you'll have us on together. The novelty of the twins.
Oh, well, we'll have to get another chair.
Yeah.
But maybe we can work on that.
We don't have enough time.
But we had a great weekend in sports, right?
Yeah.
What are your impressions so far?
So I think this is great for the NFL. I'm one of these people who thinks the NFL is the greatest sports entertainment product in the world because they have tremendous parity. The NFL owners decades ago put a hard salary cap in and basically said, all for one, one for all. Baseball is broken right now. Baseball is going to have a lockout. Baseball is the most messed up sport there is. Basketball took a long time to fix. Football has gotten it right. Last year, the Patriots and the Seahawks missed the playoffs. Now they're in the Super Bowl. All 32 teams can win. That's what's great for the fan bases. That's what's great for the health of the sport. And I love the fact that New England and Seattle are in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, it's an exciting way to see both teams that are going to be in the Super Bowl now, how they work through the seasons, with their quarterbacks. Sam Darnold, what a great story that is.
Amazing. I mean, you go from the second overall pick in the draft. He's thrown out like trash in New York and in Carolina. He becomes a backup in San Francisco, a backup in Minnesota. He gets a chance. He makes the most of it. Now he's in the Super Bowl. Vrabel going to New England. Look, people don't understand the importance of coaching quarterback in the NFL. There is nothing more important than a great coach and a great quarterback. If you don't have those things, you have no chance. New England had to make a tough decision last year to fire their coach after 1 year, but bringing Mike Vrabel in, and Drake May is a great young player. So, yeah, again, it's organizations. The margin of error is so razor thin in the NFL. This isn't college where LSU can pay Southeastern $1 million to come in and beat them. I always say in the NFL, the decisions are the difference between success and failure is razor thin. Seattle made some great decisions. They brought in Clint Kubiak. They moved on from Geno Smith. Those are tough decisions, but they have worked out for them. Yeah. New England having to get rid of a former great player in their organization to bring in another former great player. Those are not easy decisions, but they're paying off for those organizations.
Well, let's talk about the Louisiana and New Orleans connections to the teams that are going to be in the Super Bowl. Who do you see?
So I wish the Broncos were in, because the game is on NBC, and my colleague Sharif Ishak is going out there. And if it was Sean Payton in Denver, I mean, he's got like 7 coaches on his staff who are here, Zach Strief and Darren Rizzi, and the list goes on and on. The players like Will Lutz. So I'm heartbroken Denver's not in it. But yeah, New England has 4 players. Boutte and Chasson, of course, Will Campbell, who was the star offensive lineman, and then Swinson, who they drafted last year as well. And then Seattle, Rashid Shaheed is going to be
Shaheed.
How many times did you say that? I miss it already.
Yeah.
I understand the Saints did what they had to do. He's going to be a free agent. They got a mid-round pick for him. When they traded him, they hadn't moved on to Tyler Shuck, so they were really, really bad. But then Clint Kubiak is there. He spent 1 year here as the offensive coordinator. Did some good things in those first couple of games before the injuries hit. Was always a really good guy, soft-spoken, great X's and O's guy. So some local ties, 6, I would say, strong local ties in the Super Bowl. I don't know which way I go. If it was the Broncos, I'd certainly lean into Sean.
Sure.
But this one, I like what Seattle has done. I love the Darnold story. I think Seattle and their general manager, Schneider, has done a great job, and they're such a good organization. It's such a great fan base. That stadium is the best outdoor stadium in the league. But look, New England has done it really well for a long time, and I like Drake May, and I really like Mike Vrabel. So I don't know if I have a dog in the fight. I just hope we have a great game.
Yeah, your earlier comment about parity, I think it's proven itself in so many ways, and it's going to be a great Super Bowl.
It should be.
Talk quickly about the Saints. How does the season look for you?
Optimistic. For the first time in years, look, no matter what Derek Carr did, he just didn't win over the fan base. Following a legend is hard. He was the guy, even though he didn't directly follow Drew Brees, people never bought in. People never really bought in on Dennis. People are excited about Tyler Shuck. People are excited about Kellen Moore. Even though he is soft-spoken, he is authentic, and I think people feel that. So I feel like there's a real sense of optimism with the young players and the young quarterback. And look, we just saw the New England Patriots went 4-13 to the Super Bowl. The Seattle Seahawks missed the playoffs, got a new quarterback in the Super Bowl. The Saints, when they won the Super Bowl, missed the playoffs in 07 and 08, won it all in 2009 season. I'm optimistic about the Saints, and I hope it's not, fool's gold. I hope that next year they are back in the playoffs, and we'll see where it goes.
Great. Well, I think we ended on a high note, as you just gave us, and appreciate you being with us. And we'd like to invite you back every time that you're available to come in and give us a sports update.
Anytime. I'm here for you, Mark.
And good luck at the Olympics.
I know. I leave for Milan very soon. So
Pack well.
24 days at the Olympics. Yeah, the cold weather is kind of prepping me already.
Well, good. Good luck with that. Great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Thanks. Well, I can't think of a better and more exciting guest to help me christen the Mark Romig Show than you, sir.
Congratulations, Mark.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Emeril Lagasse. So welcome, and thank you. You're
This
most
is
welcome.
exciting.
You know, we're going to have a conversation. I want to keep it really into some subjects that people are going to want to understand, really what makes you tick and how you would like to approach life. And so really what I want to start with is, if you were not a chef, if you were not going to be a chef, what would you be doing?
I'd be a musician. So played a lot of music in a lot of different types of bands growing up. And high school, I went to a vocational school which had culinary arts. And the only reason why I got in that school, because it's very difficult to get in, was because they needed somebody to lead the band. So I played music during high school, led the band, and turned down a full scholarship to the New England Conservatory of Music to pay to go to cooking school, which my mom wasn't very happy about.
I was about to ask you, what were your parents thinking at this moment?
My mom wasn't very happy. My dad totally understood. He said, if that's the direction you want to go, then go for it.
Wow.
So that's what I did. I didn't go to music school. I did a few summer programs at the New England Conservatory when I was in high school, but ended up going to Johnson & Wales and paying to go to cooking school.
And they say the rest is history. So your chosen instrument?
Percussion. Back then, I composed music. I played strings. I played any wind instrument, trumpet, trombone, tuba, that sort of thing, baritone. The only thing I couldn't really play was the piano, which I regret. EJ, however, he's like a natural with piano.
Really?
Yeah, so is my daughters.
Well,
Yeah.
EJ and Meryl, or maybe they'll start a band at some point
we'll
with
see.
you.
See what happens.
I can do a trio.
Yeah.
What about Alden? Does she?
She plays the piano a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see the makings of a quartet. This is fantastic. You've just reimagined Emerils as well with EJ. Can you talk about that whole transformation and how that came about?
Yeah. So, EJ is still fairly young, but he's really an old salty dog in heart. So he had a lot of great training. So when he told me and his mom that he wanted to be a chef, and I'll never forget when that night was. We were having a dinner at Cafe Boulou, and Gavin Kaysen was the chef de cuisine for Daniel Boulou. And he made this duck dish. We did a tasting menu, and EJ was right there doing the tasting menu and smelling the wines. And after that dinner, he said, I decided what I'm going to do and what I'm going to be. And he said, I'm going to be a chef. So he said, okay. I said, you got a lot of other skills, but if that's what you want to do, the rule is you're going to have to leave the house. You're going to have to go and train elsewhere, not just with me. As he grew up, as a little boy in the restaurant every day, pretty much of his life. When we opened Coastal, he was in high school in Destin. He pretty much worked every day after school. So he was, Mark, I want to say he was 15, 16. He was born in New York City. So he was 15, 16. He worked the summers for Eric Repair at Le Bernardin. So Alden and I got him an apartment across the street from Le Bernardin, and that's what he did. He lived in New York City pretty much by himself.
That's amazing.
Worked at Le Bernardin every day but Sunday. So he worked Monday through Saturday at Le Bernardin. Eric has become sort of like a second dad to him. They speak at least once a week. He worked a little bit at Danielle, worked a little bit at Cafe Boulou, but then he said to me, hey, Dad, I want to go to culinary school now. I want to go where you went. I want to go to Providence and go to Johnson & Wales. So he did that, fast-tracked that program as well. He did it 24 months in like 18 months. And then he said, I'm going to move to Europe. And I said, I'm going to move to London. Totally on his own. He found his own place and got a job. pretty much with the recommendation from Eric Repair at Core, working for Claire Smith, a 3 Michelin star as well. So he worked at Core for almost a year for Claire. She was a big impact on him and really liked him. She offered him a job, a sous chef job, but he didn't feel like he was ready. So they referred him to Sweden, and he went to work at Franzen, which is probably considered one of the top 3 restaurants in the world. So he worked for Bjorn and really became a good disciple for Bjorn and at Franzen. And then he moved back to London, and then that's when I said, okay, Ej, it's time to come home. Now I want to do what I've been wanting to do for 20 years, and that is we're going to change the complete format of Emeril's, and that was 3 years ago. We closed the restaurant, and for almost a year, we totally renovated the restaurant right down to the core. Built a state-of-the-art kitchen. We went from 35 tables to 11 tables now, 11 tables in tasting menu only. And then we have the wine bar, which is the bar, no more private rooms, so that L shape is now called the wine bar. The wine room we now call the library, which you can rent and have and do the tasting menu in that, but pretty much it's the wine bar. And the wine bar, it's amazing what's happened, because since we've been reviewed by Michelin, we were reviewed by Michelin and received 2 stars, as you know.
Yes.
But we were reviewed as one restaurant. So now that we've been reviewed, now that when they re-review the restaurant, which is happening as we speak, the wine bar will be reviewed separately than the dining room. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because I think the wine bar has become so popular with the locals.
I hear a lot of people saying that they're making their choice. They're going to do the tasting menu, or the next time we're coming back to do the wine bar.
Yeah. Yep.
Go back and forth.
Well, and I have to, you were the first person that I called almost 4 years ago to say, hey, Mark, I need some guidance. Why isn't Michelin here in Louisiana? Why aren't they here in New Orleans? We're one of the oldest cuisines in America, and we have no Michelin stars. You got Atlanta, you got Chicago, no New Orleans. So you were the one that gave me some good advice. And
well, we put you with Walt Leger, and I think, as they say, the rest is history. And congratulations again. That was such great news for not only you and EJ, but all of this part of the world, for finally getting the recognition that we needed.
Yeah, I think we had 2 1-star. And I think we had 12 or 18 mentions.
Yes.
That's just pretty amazing for first time out the chute.
Speaking of great food in New Orleans, I know you're a big fan of Don Melisi's.
Big time.
Big time, right?
They're my favorite.
What else excites you about New Orleans food and restaurants?
Well, I like exploring who's making good gumbo. Mm-hmm. I like being invited, which doesn't happen very often, but I like being invited into Mom or Grandma's home for some good, just New Orleans cooking. I like the country part of Louisiana, New Iberia, St. Martinville, etc. Our friend Marcel Benvenu, is based there, and so I've experienced a lot of country food with her. And then there's the city food of New Orleans. There are a lot of influences from, French, Spanish. It's really interesting, Mark, as you know, to see what's happened and how the city's evolved right now with the style of restaurants and all these young chefs that are opening. It's amazing. I mean, the amount of cultural differences that you can eat in New Orleans right now is exceptional.
Oh, it's amazing. The international cuisine. Yep. It's when you think about Serene and what he's done at Dakar.
I've been going to Don Melisi's. I used to go into the house. God, when she was alive.
Wow.
I would go get a poor boy, and she'd say, why don't you come in the living room? And then I'd go in the house
special. That's
and
a treat.
Eat my poor boy and drink my Boggs root beer.
That's a treat. Let's talk a little bit about the foundation. You created this foundation more than 20 years ago. And raised millions of dollars. I know that's a special place in the heart of you and Alden and what you've been able to do. What moves you in that direction?
Well, I happen to be influenced. I was on the board of Andre Agassi's foundation for maybe 12 years, and Andre's the one that really got me inspired, and seeing him build what he built, a single school in Las Vegas, and being a part of that inspired me to do something for New Orleans that wasn't done. And there's unfortunately a lot of poverty and a lot of not the best circumstances in a lot of areas. And so I wanted to make an impact to mentor children from a culinary standpoint. And the first thing that we did is we opened the first school, an edible schoolyard. And what it did was not only did it make me see these children that really didn't know what a zucchini was or what an eggplant was, and then seeing them really sort of get their hands dirty in the soil and learn about that, and then take it back to the classroom and have a kitchen format where they can learn. But then what I realized with this particular school was that the children were one thing, but the parents were another thing, because they didn't know either what that was, what a zucchini or what an eggplant was. So we started involving a parent or a grandparent on Saturdays to come to the schoolyard, to come to the garden, to pick an ingredient that they wanted to do and to take it home and to cook it with their family. And that sort of really inspired me to do more of these edible kitchen schoolyards.
And now you're in several states.
I want to say that we have 11 of them going on right now. We have 4 on the drawing board.
You've got kids influencing parents on better eating habits as well. And
yes. It just makes
full
the
circle.
family table all better, and the education that these kids are getting, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And then there are special projects, Mark, as you know, that we've done, beside Cafe Reconcile and St. Michael's, of course. We built a full culinary program at NOLA, which never had it's an arts program, and they never had culinary arts. We started with one classroom, and now we've built an entire school. And it's really great to see these young people, how they're motivated and how they're motivated with food.
Well, it's the influence that you're having on the dining habits, I think, of kids. It's really made a big difference, I think. And that's a great story that will be told for generations to come. So, home base, New Orleans. You chose New Orleans. You got to know someone very closely up on Washington Avenue by the name of Ella Brennan. It's her 100th birthday this year.
Yes, it is, her 100th birthday. I had the pleasure of taking over Commander's Palace in 1982. There was an interim chef by the name of Gerhard Brill, but Paul was really sort of still the influence, but he was kind of in and out because he had already opened about a year and a half before then. He opened K. Paul's.
That was Paul Prudhomme, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I came in, and I knew that I had some big shoes to fill. Paul had an exceptional reputation, but having the pleasure of working with Ella and Dick Brennan was incredible. It changed my life. They really didn't know much about cooking. They knew a lot about food, but they didn't know much about the technique of cooking. And it was really a great exchange because I brought that to Commanders, and I went to a total from-scratch program. And everything that I changed, and I think in my tenure there, which was just about a little under 8 years, I think we almost more than doubled business, and she became a mentor like no other, and so was Dick, but Dick in a different way. Dick was more. Detail operational, not that Ella wasn't, but Ella was all about hospitality.
Yeah, front of the house.
Yeah, about hospitality, about people, and like I said, we were a great team together, and we did a lot of great things together.
Yeah, and you see T continuing that legacy.
It's nice to see T doing that and Lally.
T and Lally together.
You know,
Great
and
combo.
I was recently at Mr. B's, which I hadn't been in a long time, seeing Cindy operate in her world, and of course there's Ralph, and then there's Dickie, and it's an amazing
They
family.
all grew up with you.
Yeah,
in
it's an
many
amazing
ways.
family.
Yeah, it really is. I want to take you through some what we call a little speed round here, just some fun
Okay?
aspects. Pineapples on pizza?
No.
Not at all.
No.
I've seen that a lot, though.
Yeah,
not with
I
your
have
pizza.
seen it a lot, but it doesn't sound good to me.
What about tomatoes and gumbo?
No. And there'll be an argument with that. There'll be a big argument with that. There will be an argument that the city food, which considered New Orleans or Creole, would use tomato, but the country gumbo would not use tomato.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. Do you do the potato salad with gumbo?
We have. We've done it over the past several years. It's one of those things that New Orleanians prefer rice, but there are some that insist on potato salad with their gumbo.
Yeah, it's not a bad taste. Really good. Favorite po' boy?
Dom Alisi's, there's a special name for it, but it's a shrimp po' boy with debris on top. And they do that. They do that for me there, and it's pretty amazing because you're getting both best worlds.
So it's not on the menu, but if we mention
you ask-
I want Emeril special.
Oh yeah, you just they'll do it for you.
Oh, my,
You
that's
should try it
fantastic.
next time.
You've cooked for a lot of great people, a lot of fun people, celebrity types. What's one of the biggest memories you have of cooking for like an icon or a celebrity?
Well, I'm fortunate because I have, over the years have fed a lot of great rock and roll people, musicians, you name it, from Billy Joel to Bruce Springsteen, you name it. Couple of highlights. We had President Clinton come to Emeril's. Still hasn't paid the bill. I don't know what happened there, but that was a pretty serious moment where they had to turn the wine room into sort of like Spy Central, basically. And, just a way to see Secret Service coming in and the dogs coming in and checking everything. That was a pretty serious moment. Having First Lady Reagan.
When she came in for the World's Fair?
Yeah, she came in when I was at Commander's Palace, and I'll never forget her coming through the kitchen door with Secret Service, and then I greeted her, and she had wonderful time. Met a lot of special people with Ella too.
I bet.
But yeah, Kevin Costner, another great guy. Anyhow, when he was here doing JFK, he was in the restaurant a lot. So
That's some great names there. What's one thing you never get tired of cooking?
I don't get tired of cooking anything really. I just
Or favorite
I
thing
just
you
love
like?
it. It depends. If I'm home, it's a good roast chicken. It could be bolognese. It could be smothered Portuguese chicken. Home cooking is much different than the restaurant cooking.
Yeah. We deeply appreciate you being with us. I know I have a couple of questions coming out from our production crew. Cal, Jordan, do y'all have anything that you'd like to ask the chef?
Well, I actually have one from one of our writers at Love NOLA, Katie. When she heard we had Emeril coming in, she had a burning question, which was, and I quote, if he thinks bay leaves are BS, because she's never made a dish that called for them, skipped them, and later thought, damn, wish I'd used those bay leaves.
Bailey's as the liqueur?
Bay leaves.
Bay leaves.
Bay leaves.
Well,
Bay leaves.
for what it's worth, you can tell that I have a laurel tree in my yard. That's how much I believe in bay leaf.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we pick them, we dry them. I don't think I bought bay leaf in 15 years. I mean, I actually have 2 trees actually in my yard right now, and crazy enough, I have a garden that's out of control right now. I had a great crop of tomatoes this spring, early summer, and they never died. And they're producing tomatoes again in November, December. They're
unusual,
producing.
huh?
Yeah, and I've got lettuces and all kinds of things growing. I don't know what it is. It must be wherever.
But there'll be no tomatoes in the gumbo.
No tomatoes in the gumbo. But I'm seriously, we're probably producing probably 4 quarts of little tomatoes and at least a dozen big tomatoes weekly.
Larry, you got one?
Hey, you talked about music earlier. What were some of your favorite bands growing up?
Well, my music was very versatile because I played orchestra music for an orchestra. I played in a Portuguese band, which was like sort of a street band, like a festival band. I played in a rock and roll band. I don't share this much because I'm pretty private about that stuff, but I happened to play percussion, play drums for the backup band for Aerosmith when they first started.
Oh, wow.
A band called New England. I played percussion for
Not
that.
the exclusive right here.
That's right. Only on the Mark Romig Show.
Well, Larry actually played for the St. Augustine Marching 100.
yeah?
Yeah.
I love it. What'd you play?
Flute. Yeah, I was much shorter back then.
Yeah. That's not an easy instrument to
No, it wasn't.
learn.
Yeah.
I mean, I played it a little bit, but that's a difficult instrument.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Glenn, you got one?
As a New Orleanian, born and raised, it's a question I always ask for someone who's moved here. What was your first week like in New Orleans? And when did you know that New Orleans was unique, special, different, as we all know that it is?
It's quite a long story, but I'll share it with you. So, coming in, I was a very young chef coming into Commander's Palace. I learned right away that I had to respect, not that I was not going to respect, but that I had to respect tradition, that there was a lot of tradition, particularly at Commander's. So in the beginning days at Commander's, Chef Emeril had no window. So it was, you do Commander's food, and that's what we do here, and we're not doing anything off the side. And after a couple of months, when I got Ella and Dick's trust that, wow, okay, this guy can cook, they did give me a window. So then it was like, okay, what am I going to do with that window? And I'll never forget one of the first dishes that I created for that window was I told Ella, I said, I'm going to do a rack of lamb. And she said, it'll never sell. I said, well, Miss Ella, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to do it with Creole mustard crust, and we're going to do it. I hate mint jelly. I think it should be banned. Mint sauce, yes, okay, but mint jelly. So I never carried mint jelly. Anyhow, that window progressively kept growing. So always respecting tradition. So then I tapped into the farm resource. I started a farm cooperative, and which was my philosophy of everything from scratch. And then I loved redfish, but then, as you know, we had a problem with redfish, we still do, and trout that got banned because of being overfished, which now it's not. They should change that law, but anyhow. But I mean, people wanted to eat more than just trout and redfish. So I began working relationship with some fishermen, and on my day off, I would go offshore or spend even an overnight trip fishing. And I found the first fish that I found, which was called escalor. And I always wondered why, when I ordered it, they would come to the restaurant with no head on. And I realized that it's because they have big teeth, and they're very mean, and the Vietnamese people, they hated that, so they just shoot the head off. and that's why they didn't have a head. But then I started finding all this wonderful fish and seafood in the Gulf, and started incorporating that into the menu, into that window. Things like snapper and grouper and other great fish. Even, I would even run sheep's head, which was considered a no-no, but people loved it. And anyhow, so that was the first love. Obviously, this being such a exciting, great food town. The music excited me, the architect excited me, the people and their hospitality excited me. So that's why I decided to stay. And I was going to open my first shingle. I was going to do it with Ella. Ella and I were going to be partners. But she wanted to be in the French Quarter, and I wanted to pioneer the warehouse district. So I went my own way, and I lived across the street from Emeril's. And so I saw that whole project evolve, and here we are 35 years later. We're celebrating Emeril's.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so very much
Thanks, Mark,
for
and
being with us.
congratulations on the Mark Romig Show.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll do this again.
We hope so. Thank you.
Thanks.
This Week in New Orleans.
All right, next up, This Week in New Orleans, a weekly segment that Love NOLA TV has been producing for a while now with one of my favorite New Orleanians, April Dupuis. Welcome, April. What's happening next?
Thanks, Mark. I'm so happy to be joining you every week. We have so many things going on in our city. This Saturday, New Orleans hosts a once-in-a-lifetime event at the Caesars Superdome, the first ever U.S. concert by Rockin' 1000, the world's biggest rock band. Picture hundreds of musicians playing in perfect sync, creating a wall of sound that fills the stadium. What started as a viral moment in a small Italian town has become a global phenomenon, and now it's landing right here with Harry Connick Jr. invited to serve as a special guest artistic director. If you're gonna rock out, you're going to need a solid pre-show meal. Some great options near the Dome include Commons Club at the Virgin Hotel, Johnny Sanchez, Trenas, Headquarters by Nice Guys NOLA, or Coppervine. As Carnival ramps up, some of the city's most buzzed about restaurants are quietly raising the bar with impressive drink offerings. If you're looking to sip with intention, these spots are worth the stop. In Mid-City, check out Hot and Soul's thoughtful beverage menu. Downtown on Poydras, Delacroix and Taqueria Carnalito both deliver big flavors and strong drink options. Over on Chapatoulas, Kira is making waves, and on Magazine Street, the Kingsway continues to impress with a beverage program that matches the kitchen's bold approach. Let's talk parades because they are in full motion this week. We're kicking off things Friday with Crew Bohem. Saturday brings the adults-only favorite Crew de Vue, known for its satirical and irreverent take on current events, followed by Crew Delusion. On Sunday, the whimsical Teat Rex fills the streets of the Marigny with handcrafted, hand-pulled floats. Also rolling on Sunday is the all-female Social Aid and Pleasure Club Crew of Nefertiti. Y'all don't want to miss these one-of-a-kind parades this weekend. For more places to eat, drink, and play this week in New Orleans, visit neworleans.com. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you, April. All right, guys, Rockin' 1000s this week.
Can't wait.
Who's going?
I think we're all going.
Y'all all gone? You got your
Yeah.
tickets?
Yeah, we got
excited.
tickets. Yep.
Definitely.
First time in North America. I don't know what to expect, but
Yeah, it's going to be terrific. It's at the Caesars Superdome on January 31st, and tickets can be purchased through Ticketmaster.
that's right.
And as you said, Cal, it is the first time in North America, and we've got some big stars that are going to be with the musicians.
Yeah, I heard of Harry Connick Jr.
Harry
and
Connick Jr., that's right.
Someone else said
Cowboy
Cowboy
Mouth.
Mouth, yep.
Yeah, it's going to be a great evening for a family, and you're going to have a lot of families coming in of the people who are playing on the floor of the Caesars Superdome, which is going to be exciting as well. But this is something that has been rolling through Europe and is now coming to North America, and we're excited to be. And I know New Orleans and Company is a big supporter and sponsor of it as well. So it's going to be a fun weekend.
Absolutely.
And I watched some of the video from concerts, previous concerts in Europe. 1,000 musicians on the floor, and it's I'm assuming a lot of New Orleans musicians are going to be on the floor. So it's going to be interesting to see how they produce that and compose that.
It's going to be exciting. I mean,
History
and
will
of
be
course,
made.
the iconic Caesars Superdome. So it's fantastic. All right, guys, this has been so much fun. I want to thank all of you for making this first episode as smooth as possible. And now, the big finish. This is Positively New Orleans. Thank you for being with us for the Mark Romig Show. We're grateful you're here, and we're excited to share this time with you in the weeks and months ahead. Here's my take. New Orleans and this region we love are more than a place on a map. It's a heartbeat. Culture isn't something we visit here. It's something we live, breathe, and pass down together like a family recipe. This is a place that gave the world jazz, second lines, bayous full of beauty, family tables covered in beignets or mom's gumbo, Mardi Gras Indians, and food that tells a story. It's a region built on joy, creativity, and connection. Even in our hardest moments, we've never lost our soul. We dance at funerals. We feed strangers. We show up for one another together because that's who we are. Our strength has always been our people, the artists, the teachers, the musicians, the cooks, the neighbors on the porch who know your name and care about your story. Together, they form the heart of this city and this region. Yeah, we've faced challenges, and yes, we still do, but history reminds us that New Orleans knows how to rise. We rebuild, we adapt, we imagine something better and then make it real together. So we remain hopeful, not because the road is easy, but because this city has never backed down from the hard things. We've always met them head on with rhythm, resilience, and heart, always with a cup half full. I look forward to going on this journey with you, together. Because in this city, no matter what comes our way, we move forward, together. And that's Positively New Orleans. And that's a wrap. Special thanks to our sponsors, Blue Runner Foods, Crystal Hot Sauce, New Orleans and Company, and our friends at visitthenorthshore.com. Until next week, see you later.